This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com. Hi there, folks, and welcome to Live Action Space Cowboy. It's a walkthrough of sorts of the live action
tips and tricks
Cowboy Bebop show, brought to you by us at TV Tuners, and of course sponsored by GameFAQs. I'm your host Swanson. With me, as always, is guy in a teddy bear outfit. Stairmaster. Huh? What? This is funny, right? That I can't hear you, but with...
It was kind of funny, I thought. It was like...
There was humor in there, I guess. I think it was the closest thing to comedy, I guess.
I think that they, like, perfectly executed that bit.
Yeah, it's just a shame about everything else.
Yeah.
And with us, as always, of course, is our other co-host and leader of the elder of the syndicate, Kyorain.
Swanson, you have tested my patience for the last time. Take this pistol and execute Stairmaster right now.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I was just kidding.
Well, if you were just kidding, why did you tell me to do it?
Pass the test.
We didn't even load the gun. How did you shoot him with it?
I brought spares.
Grand Elder, why do you sound like Mr. Plinkett?
That's the big twist. Don't ruin it.
I don't know who that is.
Season 2, we were supposed to find out that the Elder is Mr. Plinkett.
I have to go. Goodbye.
Star Wars Episode 1 was the worst thing in my life since my son.
But, yeah, welcome to the show. We're back for Episode 2 of this 10-episode look into the live-action Cowboy Bebop show brought to you by Netflix. Right off the bat, I want to, of course, mention this is a Buy Me a Coffee sponsored series, or purchased series. We're not sponsored by Buy Me a Coffee, but we could be. This was purchased by J-Pop, who sent me an interesting message that I'm going to relay at the end of the show. But for now, he's paid us a bounty of sorts to watch this show.
I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's worth it.
Yeah, I guess it's worth it for him. He gets 10 episodes of us talking about shit.
Literally.
Literal garbage. So yeah, this is welcome to the show, as always. If you are listening and you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, well, why not send those into the pod, and we'll read them here on the podcast right now in this very segment. That's right. Yeah. All you gotta do is send them to our email address, tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Kyorain?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to this. I was too busy doing a running plot about the syndicate. So I didn't really hear any of what you said. I'm not even involved in the story at all until the end here. Sorry, guys.
That's right.
The email is turbotax@e.turbotax.intuit.com.
That's right. Tax season is here, folks.
Your maximum refund is waiting. The sooner you file, the sooner you'll get your money. You have everything you need to finish, file, and get your maximum refund. Don't wait any longer. Let's get started and check off taxes off your list. Sign in today.
What's happening right now?
Are you just reading an email?
Yes. Live full service. Hand your taxes off and let a tax expert do them for you. Get Max with a dedicated tax expert to do your tasks from start to finish.
Okay, just to be clear, we're not being paid for this.
Yeah, unpaid ad from Stairmaster.
And review your taxes before filing.
Why are you doing this?
Interestingly enough, I did recently do my taxes. I did not use TurboTax.
Yeah, I use Credit Karma to file my taxes. It's free.
I should probably do that too, but I haven't. I don't want the IRS to know about my income.
What's your income?
This podcast.
This podcast. I would be ashamed.
You don't have to file for income that low.
Yeah, that's the shameful part.
The IRS would just be like, why are you wasting our time with this?
They'll send their strongest IRS agent to your house.
Do not send us stuff again. You call this income?
She would like snap a pencil very threateningly.
Do you think bounty hunters have to collect income tax? Like, have to do income tax?
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Who would they be paying the taxes to? It seems like the planets are. There's no like solar system wide government.
You mean in space or the real world? Because Swanson didn't really specify.
Oh.
I meant in the show.
In the show, I don't really know. They're very vague about how the government works, aren't they?
It seems like the planets are own separate countries, and maybe the Jupiter sphere is like it's one big.
I'm just thinking of a scene where Jet's like, Spike, you need to do your taxes. I'll get to him, Jet. No, Spike, you need to do them now. The deadline's tomorrow.
Not yet, Walter. That's what you sound like when you were doing your Spike voice.
I mean, really, the portrayal of Spike in the show pretty much is just kind of like a joyless figure like Mike.
Yeah.
Except his hairline is less.
It's funny how you mean because he has hair?
Yeah.
It's funny how the joy of Spike in the original is sort of just completely gone in this one. He's an asshole this whole episode.
He's kind of just cranky.
He's cranky and bad at his job, apparently.
And very
also
belligerent to Jet, as we've mentioned.
And distracted the whole time. He's like... Okay, we're kind of getting into it already, aren't we? We're just like not doing anything else to talk about the show the whole time.
This tweet of the week comes from cat.exe at cat_._exe. Okay, describe this picture to us, Keo. That's the entirety of the tweet.
Okay. All right. So, we've got a picture taking place in somebody's kitchen.
There's a coffee maker.
A teapot.
There's a coffee maker?
Yes.
Where's the coffee maker?
Right,
no, that's not a coffee maker, Stair. That's a blender.
Not? Oh, you're right.
That's a blender.
That would not make any sense.
Yeah. All right. So the important thing, though, that I'm kind of avoiding talking about because it's very overwhelming to me.
It's very powerful.
It's a very powerful image.
There's a fat cat.
It's a large cat. It looks like
it's a big white cat.
I would say it's wide like a football player.
Yes.
No, this cat is overweight. This is a fat cat with a very powerful presence. It's winking directly at me.
This cat wants you to know that whatever it's doing it well.
He's shaped like a teardrop.
This cat is satisfied, and
I love him. He sort of looks like Scrambles.
I don't know how the cat got on the counter. There's no way it can jump.
No, this cat is powerful.
It has like powerful legs that like allow it to throw itself into the air.
It's powerful in a way that we can't even comprehend. I don't think. I don't even think it jumped. I think it levitated onto the counter.
It's just. I think he's really just husky, and they took this photo at a bad angle.
No way. This cat's huge.
I bet it's like part Maine Coon or something.
Dare I say, this cat is a chonker.
You're saying that this cat is just mostly fur, Stare?
I'm thinking like muscle.
It's muscle like it.
This is the kingpin of cats, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like Scrambles, my cat. It is very big.
This cat is welcoming us to the kitchen.
So you're saying if I tried to punch this cat, it would just swat me away from me flying?
It would claw your face off.
It would claw your face off and then take you to a car door and then just sort of jam your head in it.
Wow, what a powerful cat!
Oh, he's so cute. I wonder,
I'm gonna tune in on this cat.
Such a little guy.
Do you think this cat fights its archenemy, Dog Devil?
Yeah.
I probably want to make sure this cat's healthy, but otherwise, tune in on the cat.
Yeah, tune in on this cat. I'm sure the cat's fine.
Oh, this picture was taken in 1994. Sorry.
The cat's dead.
Okay, well, regardless of whether or not of the health of the cat at the time,
it's long past relevant.
Yeah.
How'd you find this cat's the age of this photo? Where's that at?
Oh, the intern. Oh, I just made it up.
Oh, okay.
even if it was 1994, which would be ridiculous because this photo is very good. Anyway, even if this was taken in 1994, I feel like this cat would still be alive somehow. It's powerful. It's a powerful cat. Tune in.
I just want to hug him.
Oldest cat.
I can't remain just looking at him. It's just a little guy.
He's huge.
Yeah, but compared to a human being, he's still a little guy.
It's just a little guy.
Little guy that kill you if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Much like Columbo, he's just a little guy.
He doesn't know what's going on. He's innocent. He doesn't understand really how to even do anything.
Yeah.
I think he knows more than he lets on. Much
so
like
that's
Columbo.
TV Tuners, folks.
Yeah, that's a tune in. Congratulations, cat.exe for that wonderful tweet.
And see you next week, folks.
Yeah, we've got nothing else to discuss, right?
Yeah.
Nothing that we've been paid to do.
They should have put this cat in Cowboy Bebop as Ian.
Yes, correct. They just made the dog a cat.
A really big cat.
I guess this cat is comparable in size to like a corgi.
A dog, yeah.
Anyway,
this cat could probably kill a corgi.
Well, I don't know about all that, but maybe. Yeah, there's but one last thing I have to ask before we get into our actual discussion here. What'd you folks watch? Anything interesting, exciting?
No.
No, nothing?
Nope.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I watched Man on Fire, starring Denzel Washington.
This Tony Scott joint?
Tony Scott, yes.
How is it?
He shoves C4 up a man's ass and blows him up at one point.
Alright, so that is a man on fire, I guess. So
yes.
Title achieved.
On fire. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
Also, I watched Che.
Like Che Guevara?
Starring Benicio del Toro as the man himself.
Oh.
It's pretty good. They derailed a train in it. So I gotta give that 5 stars.
Yeah.
Also, Oscar Isaac is in it for some reason as Ewan Interpreter.
How's that go?
He speaks English when Benicio del Toro speaks Spanish.
Does it work?
I guess it's accurate.
I mean, yes. Anyways, I'm just kind of shocked because this movie portrayed the Cuban Revolution in such a positive light. That I'm shocked that the CIA did not kill the director or Benicio del Toro.
I'm sure they thought about it.
They thought about it, but then they remember they don't really do that.
At least not like...
I guess that is more of the FBI's thing.
Yeah. And usually reserved only exclusively for like popular black figures.
Oh, you're right.
They usually don't like execute like Hollywood executives and things like that.
Yeah.
Except for
Speaking of the FBI helping get someone executed, I watched something somewhat related to that.
Oh?
You can continue, Stare. That was a good segue for me. So
no, I'm done.
I watched Judas and the Black Messiah, the Fred Hampton biopic. I don't think that's the accurate word for it, because it's mostly about his eventual betrayal by a guy literally hired by the FBI to fund his demise. Mm-hmm. So it's
got black people.
Yeah, lots of them, I would say. But also, Jesse Plemons is in this because he's in every fucking movie.
Is he an FBI guy?
He's Lakeith Stanfield's character is the titular Judas, and he is his handler. So he essentially plays like a white devil figure. Literally at the end of the movie, devil. He's like, they're in like a country club, and he hands him the keys to a gas station and is like, you've made it, man. You can live your whole life now. Because he's successfully helped them kill Fred Hampton. Anyway, Daniel Kaluuya, I think is how you say his name. He plays Fred Hampton. He's extremely good in this. Lakeith Stanfield plays Bill O'Neill, the FBI informant who infiltrates the party after being arrested for impersonating an officer.
I feel like everyone who listens to this podcast already knows Fred Hampton and what happened to him. But just on the off chance. Fred Hampton was a black civil rights activist who literally got drugged and assassinated by the Chicago police with aid from the FBI.
Yeah.
While he was sleeping.
And
they came into his apartment and killed his guards and him.
This movie is made with was made and written with the help of his son and wife, so you actually get like the word for word accounts of what the officers say before they kill him, which is something to the effects of like, oh, he's not even dead yet, and then like a couple gunshots go off and they say, well, he is now.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be something you couldn't say. And I couldn't say, and only Keo could say.
No, I'm sure that came later when they, when
they're celebrating about it.
Yeah, when they're celebrating about it and tried to keep his wife in jail for years on end. Anyway, yeah, it's as you would expect from a movie with this type of material. It's got the right amount of like righteous fury and anger about the subject. Mm-hmm. I saw a review on Letterboxd from a well-known critic that I think I kind of agree with, which is that Stanfield and Kaluuya are like 2 times as old at this point. They're in their 30s, and it's got to be said that Hampton and Bill O'Neill both were like 20 to 22 years old when this all happened.
Historians simply are not sure of the exact age.
Well, I mean, Bill O'Neill's age isn't. I don't know for sure, but Fred Hampton was like 20 when he died. Yeah. So I feel like I get casting older actors for this because you want some people who can actually bring the material that you need, but it kind of does take away the most heartbreaking appeal of the movie, which is that these are literal children who are being used by the government.
Yeah, I think they should have cast Ryan Gosling.
Yes, Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of brushed that off, but I think Ryan Gosling did a really good job starring as Obama and Martin Luther King Jr.
Those 2 biopics.
Yeah.
That fuck, I can't remember his name.
That exist.
It was Spike
Lee, that Spike Lee did.
Yeah, he did. He did MLK and Obama back to back.
Oh yeah, they're like a duo.
And the crossover.
Yeah, it's a crossover
Obama,
event.
and when you think about it, Obama really picked up the torch.
It's true. Yeah.
True.
Anyway, it's a good movie. I'd say tune in.
Do you have any counter arguments, Keo?
I would argue that it was a bad movie and to tune out.
I'd argue the real life events were bad and you should tune out of those real life events.
Well, I was saying, but I never watched it, so my opinion isn't the most valid. So.
Well, I'm a fan of elevating black voices, so I'm going to agree with Keo and say tune out.
All right, sure. another thing I watched was...
well, for once you are. Usually you just talk over me when I'm trying to talk, but this time around you're...
He's elevating this.
That's how you know it's an op.
What else? I watched Belfast this week as well. I watched it on St. Patrick's Day weekend, so I guess that ties in well.
I didn't watch that.
Isn't that like Protestant propaganda?
Sort of. It doesn't actually take either side, which is the weirdest thing.
Oh, come the fuck on. Pick a side at least.
It's a story told from the director Kenneth Branagh's perspective, like about his childhood, and yet it refuses to take a side in the troubles that occur when he's there in Ireland as a kid.
There are heroes and villains on both sides. Evil is everywhere.
It also devolves in the last half to have like this ridiculous neighbor guy who's like there to be the villain.
That's right.
And
That's right, Al.
It ends with him like holding the stand-in for Brana, the kid, at gunpoint, and then being like, "You can't live here."
Is the kid Protestant or is he a Catholic?
They're Protestants.
Okay, so he's being held up by an IRA guy, or at least
I believe so.
A guy LARPing as one.
A guy LARPing as an IRA guy, yes.
So your average Twitter poster.
Yeah. Anyway, there's some good performances in here. Judi Dench is pretty good. Other than that, though, there's really nothing here. I've talked numerous times on this podcast about how hard it is for me to get on board with a movie that has a precocious child in it, and this movie's got a lot of that.
Oh, you get so upset, Swanson.
It's just, it always feels so like openly manipulative to have like a kid in there that's like being cute and stuff. That I usually don't go
sort of
for
like
it.
Man on Fire, starring Denzel Washington.
Is there a precocious child in that?
Yeah, and she gets kidnapped by the cartels, and that sends Denzel Washington on a roaring rampage
rampage
of revenge and sobriety. I had to remember my words, okay?
I don't know if I have a problem with like that kind of thing, because I'm assuming the kid isn't like the character that you're following for most of the movie, is it?
That's like 40 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's a problem then. Yeah.
It's a 2.5-hour film.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I wasn't feeling this movie. It feels like it doesn't have a viewpoint at all, even though it's ostensibly about someone's lived experiences. But whatever. I haven't watched Don't Look Up yet, so I'm going to see if that's worse, but I'm going to guess probably.
Well, at least that film takes a side, or has a viewpoint.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I'm going to say tune out on this one. I wasn't a fan. I know that some people have really enjoyed it, but to each their own, I suppose. Last but not least, I'm back on my bullshit watching bad TV shows. Although this week it was more just a weird TV show. I'm gonna read the premise of this show to you first, because it sounds worse on paper than it is.
Do we have to guess the title?
No, I'll give you the title right now. It's called Teen Angel. Teen Angel follows a high school boy, Steve Bucamp, and his recently deceased best friend, Marty DiPolo, who dies from eating a 6-month-old hamburger from under Steve's bed on a dare.
It's like Homer Simpson.
Hold on. And is then sent back to Earth as Steve's guardian angel. Marty's guide is a large disembodied head named Rod, who identifies himself as God's cousin.
What?
Yeah, so there's a guy, a large disembodied head, who's identifies himself as God, who goes around and like gives Marty advice on how to be a guardian angel.
Well, there's also a guy named Rod.
No, that's what his name is, Rod, because he's not God, he's Rod. He's God's cousin.
He's God's cousin.
Rod, yeah.
So this is like Gnosticism, where there's like 36 divine aspects orbiting the Godhead.
Sort of. So now that I've explained that to you, I'm gonna say this show wasn't bad. And now I'm going to tell you who created the show, and you might understand now why it's not bad. This show was created by Al Jean and Mike Reese, Mike Reese, who Simpsons showrunners during the Golden Age, who this was their follow-up from The Critic being canceled.
Oh.
Was they got hired by ABC to produce a show for them for their TGIF lineup. And this was what they picked, what they got.
I gotta imagine this is good now.
It's actually, it's surprisingly good. It's actually the most consistently funny thing I've watched, intentionally anyway, I've watched for these articles that I've been writing. It's wacky and weird, and like all of the bad things, from what I can tell, are things that were definitely put on them by the network. Like they have to focus on a family dynamic and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's like a cartoon show in live action, and it somehow works. I don't know.
So that's a tune in?
I think it's a tune in. I kind of like this show. I wish there was more than 17 episodes of it.
How can you tune in on a television turmoil?
Anyway, yeah, that's I think that's all I got. So I guess we got nothing left to do but talk about this episode.
Yeah, we're ready to go. We're done.
We didn't ask you if he watched anything.
I didn't watch anything.
Okay. Yeah, he said he told us.
Okay.
He told us with his black voice that we're elevating.
My booming voice that you can barely hear because it's so loud that the
shut up! We're trying to elevate black voices.
My voice is so incredibly loud and deep that you can't even understand what I'm saying.
True.
Yeah, it's an octave above our understanding.
Below?
Huh?
You mean below?
No, it's above.
Okay. Understandable.
Well, it's not below our understanding. That would mean your voice is dumb, Keo.
No. So it's not like we're talking about the literal octaves. We're talking about metaphorical octaves of understanding.
I'm talking about our ability to comprehend
ability, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the octave itself. I'm talking about our ability to comprehend his voice.
I'm just saying, if you say my octave is it's too high for you to understand, it sounds like I have a squeaky voice.
Then you wouldn't want that.
No, I wouldn't want that.
All right, so we watched the second episode of Cowboy Bebop, titled Venus Pop. More like Venus Poop.
Ooh.
Yes, me.
Correct.
More like Penis Pop.
Penis Pop.
I don't know. Is that
I don't
bad?
know. I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
Well, I know for sure this episode's not good. So
I mean, a penis pop, that could be like a popsicle.
I bet that exists.
Yeah, guaranteed, 100%.
It could just mean that you're giving your dick out to be sucked.
Yeah, which is a real thing that happens from time to time.
Yeah, some people
allegedly. That's what I've heard. I don't know about it for sure. I have to do more research.
I've studied documents suggesting that this is the case.
Do you mind sharing those documents with me?
Historians are unclear on whether this is a real practice or merely parody.
I think some people think it might be a metaphorical type of thing.
Yeah, I guess
it's not actually physically actually performed, or even suggested to be performed, but it's just a metaphor for something else which we don't quite understand just yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we should find out for ourselves. Right now.
So we're continuing to avoid talking about this episode because it's a doozy.
Kind of a nothing burger, I would say.
This show is really showcasing the problem we noticed last time, where they're so obsessed with making this have a continuous storyline that they just kind of forget that they're trying to tell individual stories for a while.
Yeah, this is what I want to call the classic Netflix number 2. In that it's the second episode, so you know that they got to drag some stuff out and focus on some subplots that are not going to amount to anything by the end of the season. It's the same stuff they did in all of the Marvel Netflix shows. And they're doing it here.
It's what every serial, like, weekly anime from the 90s did.
Yeah, it is like sort of like
second
that.
Episode.
The problem being, of course, that the difference was that those episodes were much shorter.
Yes.
Like half the length of this one.
At least this is only 40 minutes long.
That's true. It's not an interminable extra 20 minutes of Vicious being like, I will kill my wife.
They're also, I don't know why, they're just kind of changing the sequence of events now just cause they want to, I guess.
The Teddy Bear Bomber guy was like a very late, wasn't he? Like,
yeah, he was very near the end of the series when the bomber shows up.
Yeah.
It also wasn't the joke of that episode that we never actually get to hear what his reasoning is, because the events keep conspiring.
I think the joke was that he kept trying to explain himself, but no one was listening to him.
Yeah. He was going to explain himself numerous times and nobody was hearing him out. Which is like the exact opposite of what happens in this. Well, I guess they kind of mess with that a little bit at the end, but not really.
Not really. They kind of just abandon that premise entirely.
So let's talk. Let's just talk about the thing right from the start here. We get a look in on the show within a show, Big Shot.
Yeah, which I guess this is all right. If this was like a commercial for some animated Cowboy Bebop thing, I'd be okay with it.
It's fine until
it's a little cringe, but
until the end, it's fine. When they have to cut from the commercial or the show to have the lady be like, "That was my line."
Oh yeah, come on, they didn't. Come on.
First off, is that making air? And second off, what?
They kind of mess up the point of this little thing that they do because, like the original broadcast from Cowboy Bebop, they had like the same two characters that they showed depict here, but it's just like this really like very well rehearsed, broadcast about a bounty where they get it all exactly correct, and it's just kind of like shockingly camp for like talking about a horrible wanted criminal.
Yeah.
But they make it seem more human in this by making them like... Way. What was that?
Not a good way. Sort of ruins the vibe.
Yeah, it ruins the vibe of this vaguely dystopian feeling vibe where it's just like this wacky duo that's super well rehearsed because they're like making like quips and things like that are not scripted at all, clearly.
Also, wasn't the gag with this show that it was extremely unreliable?
Well, they do get canceled near the end of the series.
I recall the gag about the show being that like the Bebop crew as it exists that like never actually solves something with the help of this show, or even like most of the cases they learn about are from like context. It has nothing to do with the show itself. It's like on in the background essentially.
Yeah, and the show gets canceled and the black guy's moving back in with his mom.
I forgot about that. Does that happen?
I think I remember there like being a scene of him at the space airport talking to his mom. Or he was on the phone.
I don't know if the joke was that they're unreliable. I don't remember very well. I've only watched episodes 1 and 2, and in those 2 episodes they're perfectly reliable. They give good information. It's just nothing super actionable. It's just like the first lead, right? Like
it's mostly just to explain to the audience what the episode's about.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like telling them where to find the guy because it's just the public broadcast.
I guess they do that part successfully. It's all fine in the way that everything in the show is fine until they have to just shoehorn in that little Whedon joke. A little Whedon getting in there.
You did say everything's fine, but there's still all the visuals in this look like garbage. The set design's just like plain awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super bothered by it because there are other things in this episode that bother me way more.
I really want you to expand on that because I never really had a problem with...
Everything looks fake, the way it's lit.
I understand what Stairmaster's saying in that it looks overly staged in a way. It doesn't bother me that much for this particular part.
Maybe you could give me, like, at some other point, like a shot where you can point out where it looks fake, because, I mean, it doesn't look like anywhere in the real world, but it doesn't. I think the idea is not supposed to.
Does it count if I point out Vicious's hair as when it looks fake?
Well, Vicious is awful in this.
Well, he's talking about the set design. Vicious just looks like an awful, like... He looks like I said before, it looks like they took, like, Snape or something and just dyed his hair white.
Well, yeah, Vicious is played by a British guy for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. So, old Fearless, the boy who lived, come to die. I know Snape doesn't say that, but... Anyway, so we're at a wedding.
Yeah, this church looks fake as hell.
I guess that's a good example. This church definitely does look like a soundstage.
And the way the camera's placed, it's always, like, directly in front of Spike or Jet. There's no, like, above shots to really convey that they're in a crowded area. Anyways, they're at a wedding. They're hoping that it gets bombed.
Yeah. So they're trying to track down this bomber guy, and Jet's idea here is that he's got to plant his bombs sometime, so they'll be looking for a suspicious figure. Spike's like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Spike's in the bathroom, and
this bathroom also looks fake. It looks like the walls are made out of cardboard.
Well, they've got to look like that because then they break them. I guess not the walls; they do break the mirror. This is, I don't know if the bathroom looks fake, but it is an odd setup for a bathroom in that the mirror is a two-way mirror. From so the bathroom has like the stalls and everything, and then another room, another area where you're washing your hands and stuff, and there's a mirror there. I don't know. The future bathrooms are weird.
I don't know. I'm looking over this footage of the bathroom scene. I don't know exactly what looks overtly fake about it. It just looks like a bathroom to me. But
I don't know. It's not when they get into the scene where they're running across the different section of the mirror on the either side. I was starting to wonder what the layout of this bathroom is. Can someone draw me a map of the layout of this bathroom?
Yeah, I don't know about that part.
It's like the bathroom for Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, but the difference here is that the assassin does not recharge his fists when he's getting ready to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Like Henry Cavill does in that.
We're kind of glossing over the storytelling flaws of this, which is what I was focused on.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about how... I wanted to talk about two major things, but I'll let you go, Keo.
Okay.
So, at this point in the story, we're getting introduced to the storyline about the bomber.
Yes.
Correct.
So we're focused on that. We're thinking about that. And then they're like, actually, this is a syndicate storyline. We're going to spend the story doing that. So an assassin shows up. And I'm like, oh, wow, they actually added an accomplice for the bomber. He's like, oh, actually, no, he's just an assassin for the syndicate. And it just splinters the story for no good reason. This isn't interesting that he's being hunted down by a syndicate. We don't have any investment in that storyline whatsoever. We're just being kind of told this is important. And
yeah.
The story we just got invested in a few minutes ago is now taking a backseat to this, apparently.
It's also because Spike is keeping us, the audience, out of the loop as well. Like, we're clearly getting more info than Jet has, but he's withholding information from us, too.
Which was also a thing in Cowboy Bebop, but not a problem since
it was episodic.
It was only like a matter for like 5 episodes.
And also Spike did his job during the show.
And he was nice to Jet.
He was nice to Jet. And also, he was a joyful figure who, made light of the situation, even though, things may not have been going great. He had a wide range of emotions, but a good third of the time he's happy and having fun.
Yeah.
No, in this he's just like a jackass who doesn't talk to people and is actively mean to his partner.
His best friend.
Yeah, the only person who cares about him at current. So yeah, this fight scene is fine. Capital F, fine. It's honestly, it's not as bad. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, it's slightly better than last week.
Yeah, I think my main reason for this is that they're changing up the fight style for Spike, where he's not doing all of the moves that he does in the show. Because you can't have a human do that. Yeah.
We can't have this actor do that, definitely.
So you get a more grounded sort of fight in this that makes use of different techniques that Spike uses that aren't just kicking with feet. So it made him for a more interesting fight, I guess. He dispatches this guy. Meanwhile, now this is, I don't know if you wanted to talk about this as well, Keo, which is that the suspect that they're looking for just walks right to where he needs to be for them to see him.
He walks right where he needs to be, and he's disfigured, so he stands out.
The man with one hand.
And he's also the most suspicious looking dude imaginable. It's like if you asked like a 4-year-old to come up with what a suspicious dude looks like, it would be this guy. And he's got the bomb in plain view where Jet can just like look at it and be like, "That's the bomb."
Oh, whoa.
So this guy, realizing that he's immediately been found out because he's walking into a wedding, looking the most obvious, bad trouble dude alive, carrying a bomb. What was he going to do? Just like plant it while the wedding was going on?
He was going to put it in the wedding cake.
Yeah. So when Spike is like, hey, you!
Jet.
I was half expecting it to be like Spike got the wrong guy or something funny like that.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen as well. Also, your Jet is very impressive, Swanson.
I mean, Jet's just a guy with a deep voice. I don't know.
Keo, do you think it sounds good?
Yeah, you do a good job, Swanson.
Yeah, you could definitely do anime voice acting.
Oh, well. I guess if they need me for Cowboy Bebop too, I'm here. Even though Jet's voice actor, I think, is very much alive and well. So yeah, hopefully. Jet goes and follows him, and then Jet gets hit in the face with what is it? Like a candle holder?
Pottery of some kind? I don't know.
And then he just like passes out while Spike is like busy doing his thing.
Well, he falls out a window as well.
Oh yeah. So music cue. We get the show's on the loose now, and
we get the knockoff intro.
The fan film intro.
And Jet,
like Channel
Jet's
Awesome made this.
Jet's like, "What the hell, Spike? Why didn't you help me back there?" And Spike's like, "Whatever, man. You're not hurt. It's all good." Something just like just asshole stuff. Just like, you didn't get killed.
Doesn't even mention there's a dead body in that bathroom that might come back to haunt them, legally speaking.
Yeah. He did not. He doesn't. Well, yeah, he never mentions that he never mentions what he was doing for so long in a bathroom.
He also just kind of executes the guy, which I don't remember Spike doing that very often, did he?
I don't think it ever came up that he needed to kill a guy in cold blood.
Well, that's the thing, because Vicious just hunted him down himself. He never got other people to go.
Well, Vicious comes after him like once in the series.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. When the Syndicate guys don't show up for Spike, and then Spike's like, "Oh, Vicious knows I'm alive." Vicious knows he's alive himself because he's hunting him down.
Yeah.
So like this situation never happened. So I don't even know if Spike would even do this, but this version did, I guess. So at this point, I just have to accept that this is like they're adapting versions of the characters from the shows, but then just making their own characters who are like who look like them.
No, they just dress like them, really.
Yeah, it's true. Because even Jet who's the closest to the closest 1-to-1 is like just whinier than he is in the original.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder what they're going to do for Gundam when they put that out. I think that Amuro's going to be like wisecracking.
Yeah, I can't wait for Amuro to get in the Gundam and fire and be like that, and like fire a hole in the space colony and be like that happened.
And Bright will be like sort of buffoonish.
Yeah,
and it's by the book's nature.
Yeah, Bright will be talking about how like Amuro can't be trusted, and then like he'll be like, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yes, they will do that. Hold on, they did do that. Remember when he runs off?
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't say he's right behind me, isn't he?
I know, but... yeah, but they will do that.
Yeah. Char and Garma will still not be...
gay enough.
They'll definitely... since it's a Netflix show, they'll definitely draw out Garma's death. Like, it probably won't even happen in the first season.
Will the Char shower scene be in it?
Is this Gundam show just a straight UC remake?
I don't know. We still don't know. There's nothing out there about it.
Because good luck finding someone to play Char in live action.
Ryan Gosling.
All right, yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
He's too old, but yeah.
Well, he wears a mask, so that's like half the work you have to do with makeup-wise.
He wears a mask for some of the scenes.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah, this Cowboy Bebop show just continues to make us wonder. Well, it's not really a question, but just kind of reveals that definitely they should have just made their own show.
Yes. I mean, that's true for most adaptations of things that are just like cashing in on an IP.
Right. But I don't know. Clearly, people making this show wanted to make their own show, and they just could not. They were not permitted to. They had to make this.
Yeah. I feel like, I'm kind of torn. I feel like they do want to pay tribute to Cowboy Bebop, but they're doing it by just straight up misunderstanding or misrepresenting parts of the show. Also, I just thought about this. Stairmaster Ryan Gosling might not be right for Char, but you know who he's great for? Quattro Bagina.
Yeah.
Just imagine Ryan Gosling in a coat and a long coat and some sunglasses.
Or a live-action Char's Counterattack.
Yeah, because Ryan Gosling can look sad really well.
Actually, Jake Gyllenhaal would also be a god-tier pick.
Yeah.
Name Namenhall?
Yeah, name Namenhall.
I do like that Kia knows who Ryan Gosling is, but not Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, everyone knows who Ryan Gosling is.
Of course.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling played Kia in his biopic. Remember?
Oh, yeah. That was also directed by Spike Lee. So, yeah, we... Jet's like calling Spike out, and Spike's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, listen, I need you to read through this manifesto while I analyze this hand that I got from this guy.
This whole sequence did something that the original show doesn't make you do, and it makes you wonder why Jet's even bothering to work with Spike.
Yeah.
That's a very big problem for buddy cop movies.
Because, like, in the show, you pick up real quick why these two work together. It's because they work well together. They do not work well together in this show. Like, yeah, they'll make mistakes and stuff, but, like, they roll with it and still succeed at what they're trying to do most of the time.
They also don't get along in this show, which is just...
What's the problem is, if you're going to do 40-minute episodes with an ongoing plot, you kind of have to have something like this.
Yeah, which is I guess the problem overall, maybe. But also, it's a problem of writing, because you could find clever ways to work around these types of scenarios where you don't have to make your lead characters insufferable.
Or you could just do 22-minute episodes.
No. We've got subscribers to keep around there.
And I don't see why having a conflict like that is required for.
Oh, you gotta have something
longer.
if you're doing these serialized 40-minute episodes.
Yeah, I get what it means. He means that you have to have a larger conflict to carry those 40 minutes.
You gotta have like a dynamicism to their relationship. Like they hate each other now, but by the end they'll be friends.
Yeah. Also, hopefully. Like, it has to be some sort of like the almighty algorithm decided this at some point, but
oh yeah, that too.
Has decided that subplots also need to be in there to break up the action of the regular plot. You can't just follow a single plot for 40 minutes, which isn't true. You can just follow, if it's well written, you can just sort of follow a plot for that long.
No, people will be bored by a plot about finding a bomber.
Yeah, true.
In an unknown location that not explored before.
No one would ever want to watch a movie about a guy hunting down another guy.
Yeah.
Both guys are sort of fucked up with it.
That would never work.
No, you need to have two guys, and one of the guys doesn't investigate.
Doesn't investigate or do his job at all. And also the other guy, who is supposed to be more level-headed and with it, also doesn't really investigate. Yeah. He does slightly more investigating and manages to find the place that he needs to find. So, yeah, he needs Spike to go through this guy's manifesto that they just found a copy of, I guess. I guess when you got a manifesto, you start just throwing that stuff around, right?
You publish that bad boy. You get it out there.
And this guy did. So, Spike's like, yeah, I'm not doing that, bye. It just leaves. And we get
he has to deal with the syndicate stuff, which he won't explain to Jet, even though, it's immediately relevant to their job.
Also, his idea of dealing with the syndicate stuff is to go talk to a lady who says, I'll help you, and then immediately go back? He didn't deal with it at all.
He did not get any help.
No, he got an assurance, and that's it.
Yeah, like, Spike is a professional enough for him to, if he's having a problem like that. In the original, he would have just said, like, Jet, I'm sorry, but I have to leave. I've got some things going on, and I can't work with you right now. Goodbye. And Jet would have been like, all right, whatever.
Jet would be like, see you, Space Cowboy.
Jet would be like, Spike, come on, man.
I mean, that's pretty much what happened when he went to go, like, take on Vicious. Jet was just, like, done with him. He was like,
Jet was like, hey, we're all right. Go on. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
He was like, you can do it, but I'm not going with you because I don't want to die. So goodbye.
Do you think Jet and Faye work as well as a team after everything that happens at the end of Cowboy Bebop? Because they're pretty much the new Bebop crew at that point.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Does Ian stay with Ed? Back on
Earth?
Yeah,
Ian and Ed go off together, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know shit's about to get real.
Well, that's the thing. It comes full circle. There was two at the beginning, and now there's two at the end. It's just a different two. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah. So we get some Spike lore here, but not even really lore. It's just them talking in circles around like, we don't want to reveal what happened quite yet. That damn Rose does come back in a brief flashback again, though. It's fucking Rose. It's the bane of my existence.
We get a fucking C-plot about Vicious, which we did not need. And I do not need this guy being British.
No. So, yeah, let's just get through that whole C-plot right now, because it's interspersed between this episode. So basically, Vicious is selling Red Eye on his own, like without the behind the Syndicate's back, and the Syndicate finds out, and they're like the elders of the Syndicate, which whatever. Well, I guess they exist in the actual show itself. It's just
I don't remember them wearing masks.
I don't remember them wearing masks, and they're killed real quick. But
but it is very cool when they're killed.
That is true. Also, this show's going to draw out that for a while. I guarantee.
Now that I think about I just noticed Vicious doesn't have his bird in this. He doesn't have the creepy ravens.
No, you know how much a bird costs? Come on. You think you're going to have a bird in this show? We haven't gotten to the dog yet.
Yeah, you're right. That dog is going to be like on screen for 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds for the entire season. Just like 5-second clips of a dog each episode after it appears.
It's like a stock shot of a dog that they've already filmed.
Also not in this episode, Faye. Really made sense to debut her in the first episode, and then she's just not around anymore.
Yeah, what was the point of that then?
It seems like it seems like it was a dumb idea.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to make the 20-minute story go 40 minutes, so they decided they needed to bring in one of the other characters just.
And then when they had to make another 40-minute story for the second one, they decided to take out that character. Makes sense to me. That's just that's what they call storytelling logic.
Also, episode 2 of OG Bebop, which is where we got Ian.
Yes.
No dog this week.
No dog this week. No Faye this week. So we're actually getting what we're essentially getting is episode 1 of Cowboy Bebop now. And we got episode 3 last week. Minus dog.
This would almost be a good episode 1 if it wasn't for this B-plot bullshit. It goes nowhere. It's spinning in its wheel.
So Vicious doesn't work. That's all well and good. But we also got to mention how awful Julia is in this.
Yeah, she's literally got no presence. She's just a woman who's in danger.
She's just a woman who's there to like cry and be like scared. And for Vicious to abuse at the end. In a scene that was supposed to be scary, but did make me laugh out loud.
Well, yeah, what is with this fucking hologram shit? They, like, phase in?
Yeah.
They beam a gun into his hands?
It's some real Videodrome shit that he's going through here. Use the gun is your flesh. Use the gun. And so they make him kill Julia, but like not really. They're like, psych. Joke's on you.
It was a test.
And
quit talking foolish before we actually make you do it.
Yeah, we didn't make you do it this time because we were sending you a message. And Julia's like, wow, you're pathetic. You couldn't even stand up to these clearly powerful people. Piece of shit.
Like 40 guys surrounded us with guns. Yeah. Why didn't you do anything?
Why couldn't you do anything when all of these people had guns trained on us?
What is that sword for?
Yeah, and he grabs her by the neck and is like, his neck veins are throbbing. He looks like he's really the way Vicious acts in this show is that he either looks confused or like he's struggling through a really hard dump. And this was the latter, where he's just like shouting. Well, he's not even shouting. He's just like trying to be sinister, and it was the funniest fucking thing I saw this week.
I didn't find it so much funny as it was just kind of cringy.
It's funny to me just because the acting for this is pretty atrocious all around. Also because this is just, I guess I don't know. I just have a real good hunch that this is not going to be important for the finale. They're not going to call back to this moment. This subplot
they were just trying to tell you about who Vicious was.
This subplot, the idea,
which the show does not, which OG Bebop does not really do. It leaves a few clues, but
well, yeah, I don't need to know who Vicious is. He's the bad guy.
It's better.
His name is literally Vicious. He's just a nasty man.
Yeah. Also, did Spike have his own version of that name in the show, in the original show? Because they call him Fearless in this, which I don't remember if that was a thing.
I can't remember. But, like, there is some promotional art of Spike before he left to go be a Bebop. Of him hanging out with Julia and Vicious and being friends.
Yeah, before Vicious was Vicious.
Yeah.
Back when
I
it
know
was called...
Bebop is not very clear about why things went south for them.
Yeah, just that it... Well, I think it's not extremely clear, but it's...
Yeah, there's some room for ambiguity. Yeah, this is far more blatant. Yes. Not telling you what happened.
Also, Julia and Vicious are married, I guess. Sure, whatever, pal. Sure thing. So, Spike goes and meets Anna, who, she's a character from the show, right? I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember.
Anyway, she runs this underground jazz club in Mars, which means that Spike went from Venus to Mars on his little spaceship, which I guess you can do. Good on him. I guess it's only a 6-hour flight, so good work. So she, they have a conversation. I think the reason this doesn't work for me so much, this conversation, is that there's no, like, we get some new information, I guess, but, like, does it amount to anything in terms of us being like, so that's what's going on here? Like, does it lead us to anything exciting?
No, not really. I don't even remember most of it. I watched this, 2 hours ago. Mostly she's just mad. Yeah.
So, yeah, Spike is just like, will you help me with Vicious? And she's like, sure. And he's like, I need you to keep an eye out, or an ear, or whatever. So she's got bugs all throughout her little club, and she can just turn them on the TV and be like, oh, I'm listening in. And she listens into Vicious get mad when an assassin is killed. So she doesn't actually learn any new info, because this is info Spike already told her.
But she'll get more, because she's apparently got Vicious bugged.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah, and that's where that little subplot
very convenient that he has access to this person who can just do that.
Yeah, very convenient for Vicious to just be frequenting this club often. Good on him. So yeah, Spike's like, all right, well, I'm back, Jet. And Jet's like, all right, okay. This is the part where I got annoyed with the show in general. So Jet's reading this manifesto. He's skimming it. And
he's having his Manhunter moment.
Yeah. And when it comes time for the reveal of what's this guy's motive, turns out there is no motive. He just likes explosions. This show has literally zero things to even think about saying. There's not a thought running through its head about anything at any moment, about any potential commentary that could be made, any thought that could be made about something, so that when someone has to make a manifesto, it's just the manifesto was nothing.
Well, the algorithm probably said that having political commentary might turn people off.
Yeah,
but they had political commentary in the first episode. They had the guy very overtly talking about how we didn't like.
Yeah, but that's a whiny millennial.
Yeah, it was okay when that guy did it because he's the bad guy, but I guess it's not alright when this guy does it, even though he's the bad guy.
I don't know. I think maybe he actually was trying to make a point in his manifesto, but Jet just didn't read it. I think that's what they were saying.
Maybe. I think they were trying to do their own version of the no one understands what this guy's going for thing. It just doesn't work as well because, one, most of this episode is not focused on this bomber.
No, he's an afterthought because we're so worried about the syndicate eating up all the air.
Yeah. And two, when he does finally appear, they can't understand him and he's knocked out before he says anything cogent. And that's it. That's the whole deal with him. I mean, that's pretty much the whole next couple minutes of the show. But Spike and Jet, Spike's just being a ridiculous asshole this whole time where he's they're meeting with a client. Or not even a client. They're meeting with someone they're trying to get info from. So you would think that you should probably put aside it's not even differences. Jet's already willing to just be yeah, whatever, man. and Spike just keeps needling him for no reason.
Yeah, Spike is very emotionally immature.
Spike is fixated on random things that don't make sense as well. Like Jet uses technology to figure out like what the explosive was, and he's like, "Oh, you solved it? No, actually, the machine did."
And it's like, oh, all right. I don't know why.
Yeah, did Spike have an inferiority complex?
Spike doesn't know how to use the computer, so he's yelling at Jet about it.
I just meant he was jealous of Jet's success.
Yeah. Also, did you guys hear Jet call his computer Marvin?
No, I did not.
When he's looking at the bomb explosions to figure out what chemical is used in the bombs, he says, "Marvin, play that again." And it's just like the computer like plays a new screen or whatever. I want to know more about Marvin. Let's do can we get a whole Marvin app?
No.
Can we get a subplot with Marvin to replace the subplots with Vicious?
No.
It would be funny if Spike was jealous. Like they're meeting another client to talk about stuff, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you go ask Marvin?" But yeah, they have this argument in front of this guy that they're trying to get info from. They still manage to get info, so they really don't have to do any actual work in this because basically they figure out that the guy who's behind these bombs works in this plant or is the supplier of the bomb. This doesn't even make any goddamn sense to me. Did you figure out this plot line, Keo?
Did you try to figure it out? Good work.
So he finds out what kind of explosives he's using computers and whatnot.
Using Marvin.
So he goes to a construction company that uses, that explosive, and he's trying to find out what their supplier is. The guy says, "Our supply is fine. Our guy who does the inventory says so. Our inventory guy's name is Theodore." And they're like, "His name is Teddy? The Teddy Bomber?"
Jesus Christ!
There should have been a scene of a shot of the foreman going like, "Oh, when you put it that way."
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem is that when they were searching for the Zodiac Killer, they weren't looking for people named Zoe. Zoe? Like Zodiac? We've got our guy.
Leo.
Yeah, they weren't looking for like Leos. His name is Cancer?
So they find out that the supplier for the construction company is also the bomber. So they have a showdown with him. Takes too long.
Yeah, so they get in this ship. They're walking around. It's booby-trapped, and it's booby-trapped with mines, which, sure, whatever. What was this guy's plan? Was he trying to lure them there?
I don't really even know.
I guess we don't know. We're not supposed to know, right?
It seems like he panics and like launches a plan at the last moment because he was about to eat lunch or something.
Yeah, that's why the noodles are there. The noodles that Spike treats like it's the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Cup Noodles must pay some real money on these product placement deals.
Yeah, but you don't really see the Cup of Noodles logo on there. They make it a little blurry. So you don't
can see it.
So you see the outline of it, but you don't see Cup of Noodle. Like it's not saying Cup of Noodles.
Yeah, I could read it. We just recognize it that well. We couldn't actually read it.
I didn't think you could read it. Maybe I just wasn't looking at it when it maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to this part because I was like rolling my eyes.
He's looking at that cup for a really long time. It seems like a product placement deal to me. Maybe
it is. I mean, it's believable that 100 years from now, Cup of Noodles will still be around.
No, this is. I found it here, Swanson. You can look at this. This is product placement for sure. It's not blurry. You just weren't paying attention.
Wow, I didn't realize this was the call-out cast.
I find this very important because it was distracting. To me, anyway.
It's like Stairmaster talking about set design.
Oh yeah, this spaceship doesn't look good either.
I mean, the spaceship just looks like they're in a dingy warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, product placement for Cup of Noodles here. Spike, be like Spike Spagel. Drink cup of noodles. Drink, eat cup of noodles.
He like literally, you said it yourself. He treats it like the briefcase from Pulp Fiction. It's like an advertisement for cup noodles.
Yeah.
But you see, it's a callback to Spike wanting noodles throughout the episode.
Oh, yeah. This is what we call a runner.
Oh, I had noodles for dinner.
Just noodles?
No,
I also technically had noodles for dinner. Pasta, I guess, but that's noodles.
There was meatballs and red sauce.
Metball?
Metball. Let's go, baby! It's the Mets!
the Met balls! So yeah, Spike earlier when they step into the place is like, let's check the cockpit. And Jet's like, no, too obvious. And so they look around a bit, and then the ship takes off, and Spike's like, should have checked the cockpit. They get in there, and the ship is going towards an asteroid field.
It's going into debris.
Yeah. Oh, debris. It's not even asteroids, yeah. And starts like shattering through the ship. But hey, don't worry, it doesn't affect the rest of this scene at all. It takes out that one part of the ship, and it's all good afterwards.
Conveniently.
So then the bomber guy appears, and he's all... Well, first Jet steps on a mine, and has to like keep his foot there. And then bomber guy appears, and he's all like... He's wearing a teddy bear head, and he's shouting. He's talking, and they can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I guess that it's a callback to the actual episode that this guy's in, but not in like a roundabout way.
No, not at all. I feel like they just said it's a different joke.
It's funny. It's funny.
It's like funny. Yes, that's what I was saying.
It works. I don't know. Is it too cute that they can't understand him saying escape pod when that's what they were looking for? Or is it just dumb enough that it's funny?
That's just dumb enough, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm just overthinking it. I think it is funny. I think it's just dumb enough to work for me. But yeah, so they have this fight, if that's what you want to call it. It's pretty much just Spike kicks this dude's ass. And Jet saves the explosion trigger device thing. And they find out that the guy was mumbling about an escape pod. And then the episode kind of just ends with this bit here where they're like... Well, this plot ends right here with this bit where they're like... Jet's like, all right, well, you go into the escape pod and I'll hang out here. And Spike's like, no, I'll hang out here to make up for me being an asshole. This makes everything okay, right? That's how this works?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's the end of the episode. The actual end of the episode is that jazz lady listening to Vicious, but...
No, thank you.
No, thank you. And that's pretty much it. Final thoughts?
No.
This was worse than the first one,
really.
I think.
Oh, yeah. Somehow wasted our time even more.
Yeah, I think
I'm not appreciating this syndicate plotline that
didn't need to be here.
Isn't interesting.
Yeah, isn't interesting. Didn't need to be here. It's like following. Remember Keo, you watched Jessica Jones, right?
Yes.
Remember how there would be like plots that focused on like the neighbors, like subplots. That's what this feels like to me, where it's just completely superfluous. It doesn't have anything to fucking do with anything. Also, it's somehow about the villain, which is worse.
Yeah, this villain who... imagine if we didn't even watch the original and this was our villain.
I feel like, yeah, it would still... I mean, obviously it's worse,
like,
right?
This guy's a cuck. Yeah.
It's worse in this because we know what Vicious is like in the show and also how little screen time he gets in comparison. And I feel like it would still be bad even if I hadn't watched Cowboy Bebop before.
No, I'm saying I think it would be worse.
Yeah.
For me, at least, if there was just this guy.
We'd be like, why does he have white hair?
I guess it's true. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because it's not like Spike's hair is green.
Why? Yeah. Why do I? Why do I care about this guy who's like just kind of standing there? Really? Right?
Yeah. He's standing there. Sometimes he's bulging his neck muscles when he's angry.
He kills a guy off screen with a katana.
Yeah. Also, why was he shirtless in the scene with the elders?
They were like having sex in front of the fireplace when the guy showed up.
That's really rude. Who like? That's the real villain.
Can you imagine some dudes just interrupted your sex life
to tell you to kill
bullshit.
The person you're having sex with?
Yeah.
Or like to make you talk about a bad TV show for 60 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That would be really upsetting, and I'd hold a grudge about it.
Yeah, thankfully none of us have ever experienced that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say tune out on this episode.
Tune out.
Tune out.
Yeah.
You should watch Gundam instead.
And listen, that would be the end, but I do have something I need to bring up. I mentioned earlier.
Oh God.
Huh?
So, we've reached 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop at this point, and so I have to bring in the wild card here. What I'm calling the proposal. Keo, could you get some dramatic? Could you make some dramatic music real quick for me? Let me say it again. The proposal.
Oh no! Don't do that. Someone will think about the Halo TV show, and then try to get us to watch that.
So before we did the Cowboy Bebop show, when it was originally purchased for us, a couple weeks after that, when we were bemoaning the fact that we would have to do it, J-Pop messaged me and said this.
Okay.
If you feel it's too torturous to watch the full season of Cowboy Bebop, I will accept an audible to an equal number of Dexter and Bosch in combo.
So, like, 4 Dexter, 4 Bosch?
That's right. And I said we wouldn't cash this in until at least 2 episodes to get the full Bebop experience. So now I lay before you the opportunity. Do we move on from Cowboy Bebop right now? This will come up again later if we don't do it right now, for the record. Do we move on right now from Cowboy Bebop for some... So from 4 episodes of to 4 episodes of Dexter and 4 episodes of Bosch in combo?
I assume he's talking about the recent Dexter revival, since season 1 was kind of good with it.
Well, is season 1 of Bosch not good with it?
Season 1 of Bosch is good with it.
I think he's talking about Dexter original, but we can get some clarification after.
I think Bosch is in there just for meme value, since I was watching that and standing it.
But yeah, this is the proposal in front of you. Keep in mind, again, this is not the only time I will offer this proposal.
Okay, I'll have to think about this. This is like a difficult decision to make.
I do not want to be a coward, but also I don't want to watch a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything yet because I want you guys to make your decisions before I...
Are we going to have to decide now on the pod, or can we like just show up next week and maybe we'll have something else out instead?
I feel like we owe it to our listeners to make our decision public.
It'll be public next week when we publish the next episode. So it's not Cowboy Bebop.
Kio's proposing we do a Netflix-style cliffhanger here. Yeah, where the next episode is a complete disappointment.
Executive
because you'll look at the title and understand the decision we made.
Or we could make the title just like a question mark.
Yeah.
But people watching the backlog, like, months from now will know, because the episode after that
will be Bosch question mark.
Yeah, it's just Dexter. Like...
Whatever we choose right now, let's title the next episode Bosch question mark.
All right, sure. So we're not gonna pick right now, is what you're saying. We're gonna leave this a cliffhanger.
No, I think we should pick. But title of Bosch question mark anyways right now.
All right, well, Stair, you're pretty adamant. Seems like you made a decision.
Oh, I did not.
Okay, I guess we're going to continue with Bebop next week, so you see how it goes.
I guess we do gotta do at least 3 episodes. So.
Well, that's the rule for anime, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So why not an adaptation? Well, I will reveal that the proposal will not be available again, like whenever you choose. It's whenever I deem it.
Oh no.
So
Swanson,
you should have said that up front.
You're gonna offer it again real soon. Are we done with the
podcast? We're done. Yeah. We're doing so. The proposal has been rejected for now. So we'll continue down our lonely path of watching this show that has long since left the zeitgeist
and should be forgotten.
Yes. So we'll be back next week with more Bebop. Until then, keep cowboying. Bye. It's over.
Oh, now I really want to watch some Bosch. We should do that.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster's manifesto has been read by one person?
Ryan Gosling.